They say death can't be predicted. They say it comes like a thief in the night, striking without warning. But what if I told you there was a number that carried death in its digits? A number so cursed, so drenched in blood, that every person who ever answered it died. This is the story of 0888 888 888, the phone number of death. It began in Bulgaria in the early 2000s. The country was struggling with corruption, organized crime, and a shadowy underworld that spilled into politics. And in the middle of it all was a strange series of deaths. The first victim was Vladimir Grashnov. He was the CEO of Mobitel, one of the largest phone companies in Bulgaria, a powerful man with money, connections, and influence. But in 2001, at only 48 years old, he fell sick. Doctors said it was cancer, but the disease spread like wildfire, consuming him in months. His skin turned gray, his eyes sunk into his skull, and his body wasted away to bones. When he died, they buried him quickly, whispering that something was wrong. He had been the first owner of the number 0888-888-888. No one paid much attention. A tragic death, but nothing supernatural, until the number was reassigned. The next man to own it was Konstantin Dimitrov, not a businessman, not a politician, a mafia boss, a man who controlled drugs, weapons, and violence in the Bulgarian underworld. He was feared by many, untouchable by most. But in December of 2003, Dimitrov traveled to the Netherlands on business. He carried the cursed number with him. That night, as he walked outside a restaurant in Amsterdam, a gunman appeared from the shadows. Automatic fire erupted. Bullets tore through his chest, ripping open muscle and bone. Blood sprayed across the snow like paint on canvas. He collapsed in seconds, twitching, choking, drowning in his own blood. Witnesses screamed as his body convulsed on the ground, holes punched through his torso. The cursed phone rang in his pocket as he lay dying, the second victim of 0888-888-888. But death wasn't finished. The number was reassigned again, this time to another mafia figure, Konstantin Dishliev. He was tied to drug trafficking, a man who lived surrounded by violence, betrayal, and blood money. In May of 2005, Dishliev was leaving an Indian restaurant in Sofia. He had just finished dinner, unaware of the eyes watching him from across the street. As he stepped outside, a gunman raised his weapon. The shots were deafening. Bullets slammed into Dishliev's chest and neck, shattering bone, tearing flesh, spraying blood across the sidewalk. He fell instantly, body twitching, his face ripped apart by the gunfire. The phone in his pocket buzzed once, and then went silent forever. 3 men, 3 deaths, each one sudden, each one violent, each one carrying the same cursed number. Word spread quickly through Bulgaria. The number was cursed. Anyone who owned it would die. Mobitel, the phone company, couldn't ignore it any longer. They suspended the number. It no longer appeared in directories. It could no longer be assigned. It was erased, locked away, buried like a coffin in the digital graveyard. And yet, the legend only grew stronger. Some said the number was cursed by black magic, a hex placed by enemies deep in the Bulgarian underworld. Others claimed it wasn't supernatural at all, but a government kill list, that the phone was being tracked, that anyone who answered it was marked for death, that the number was nothing more than a target painted in digits, but the bodies told another story because the deaths weren't clean. They weren't quiet. They were grotesque. Grashnov's body had decayed from within, his organs rotting faster than doctors had ever seen. Dimitrov's chest was shredded, his ribs broken into splinters, his lungs torn to ribbons. Dishlev's skull was cracked open by gunfire. His face left a mangled mess of blood and shattered bone. This wasn't coincidence. This was ritual. This was a curse unfolding in gore. And to this day, no one has dared to claim 0888-888-888. The number doesn't exist in Bulgaria. Try to call it, and you'll reach nothing. It has been silenced, buried, erased. But the legend lingers. They say if you see the number flash across your phone screen, you must never answer. They say the number still hunts, hidden in the network, waiting for another victim. They say technology carries curses too, just like haunted objects, just like bloody relics, and that some numbers are written in blood. Think about it. The phone in your hand, ringing in the night. A number you don't recognize. 888 repeating again and again, mocking you, daring you to pick up. Would you answer? Would you let the curse in? Because in Bulgaria, 3 men did, and all 3 ended up in coffins. The unlucky cell phone number 0888-888-888. Answer it, and you answer death itself.